Ethel Harper was your average 78-year-old grandmother, at least. That's what everyone thought. She lived in a quaint little house with her cat, Whiskers, and spent most of her days knitting, baking, and attending the activities at the local senior center. But everything changed one Tuesday morning when she woke up feeling different. Ethel's first clue that something was amiss came when she casually lifted her refrigerator to retrieve a rolling apple. Startled, she placed it back down, wondering if it had been a dream. Her second clue came when she accidentally ripped her iron front gate off its hinges while heading to her garden. It was then she realized she had superhuman strength. "I knew that can of spinach I ate last night tasted funny," she thought as she headed down the walkway from her house. Not one to squander an opportunity, Ethel decided to test her newfound powers at the senior center. That week's activities included bingo, bridge, and the much-anticipated annual Seniors Olympics. Ethel knew exactly where to start. The first event was a friendly game of tug-of-war. Ethel, with her newfound confidence, joined the team and stood at the back of the line. The whistle blew, and with a gentle tug, Ethel yanked the entire opposing team, along with a few unlucky spectators, straight into the mud. The crowd erupted in laughter and applause as the opposition scrambled to their feet, covered in muck. Next up was the shuffleboard tournament. Ethel's opponents lined up their shots meticulously, sliding their pucks down the court with measured precision. When it was Ethel's turn, she lightly flicked her puck, which sailed across the board with such speed that it knocked all the other pucks off entirely. Ethel beamed, while the other players looked on in astonishment, trying to figure out how she had managed such a feat. The real spectacle began during the weightlifting competition. The senior center had a small gym with modest weights, but for the Olympics, they decided to have a light-hearted lifting contest. The heaviest weight was a 50-pound dumbbell. Ethel watched as her fellow competitors struggled to lift it, some managing only a few inches off the ground. When it was Ethel's turn, she casually picked up the dumbbell with one hand, then the other, and then, for dramatic effect, started juggling them. The room fell silent for a moment before erupting into cheers and laughter. Some of the seniors were laughing so hard they had to sit down. Ethel bowed theatrically, basking in the applause. The final event was the arm wrestling tournament. Ethel faced off against Big Joe, the reigning champion, who had won 5 years in a row. Joe grinned confidently as they clasped hands. The referee gave the signal, and within a split second, Ethel had Joe's hand pinned to the table. She released him and patted his shoulder as he rubbed his wrist, shaking his head in disbelief. Ethel's victories had the entire senior center buzzing. She became a local legend, the granny with the superhuman strength. The director of the center, Mr. Jenkins, even suggested renaming the event to Ethel's Extravaganza. Ethel enjoyed the fame and the laughter she brought to her friends. She continued to use her strength to help out around the center, whether it was lifting heavy boxes or fixing stubborn fixtures. But she always made sure to keep her secret from the younger generations, lest they come looking for answers. As for Whiskers, he took advantage of Ethel's strength by demanding more and more extravagant cat towers, which Ethel built with ease. And every night, Ethel would sit in her favorite chair, knitting and smiling, knowing that sometimes the best superpowers are the ones that bring joy to others. Ethel's life was never ordinary again, but she wouldn't have had it any other way. She had found a way to turn her extraordinary gift into something that made everyone around her happy. And that, she thought, was the true power of being super.